Hey y'all, how you doing? I haven't got the strawberries planted yet, but I did want to hop on here and get some sunflower seeded. It's actually the middle of the night. It's probably about 3 a.m. It has been way too hot to do anything during the daytime, so sometimes I can be a night owl. And on this particular evening, I'm up very late and decided I wanted to get some sunflowers seeded because some of the sunflowers I direct seeded in a few of my beds. Of course the birds ate them, or the rodents, but I would say they were probably birds. I want to get some more of those seeded. I'm going to do it in flats here, and that way they're more likely to grow, and then I will transplant them as transplants instead of trying to direct seed, because I have more success that way. Every sunflower that I have growing, except for 3, have been ones that I've transplanted. Oh, I take that back. There's a handful of volunteers as well. All the ones I threw out there, and there was probably a couple hundred seeds, only 3 survived. I'm going to get these done, and I will just show you varieties along the way. I went and grabbed a light so you could see what I was doing a little bit better. Hopefully you can see these seed trays. The first one I'm going to do are these Van Gogh mix. These are the Sunflower Steve sunflowers. Van Gogh's Fantasy Series. And I may need to open my other package of these. I did already have some starts of these, so I should have a few coming up. I'm just not sure how many actually germinated. We're going to do the Sunflower Pro Cut Plum Series next. Next, we're going to do these mystery sunflowers that I got from wholesale from the small scale grower. Next, I'm going to do some teddy bear sunflowers. Honestly, I don't know why I'm showing you the bag. It's not like there's a picture on it or you can see it. It's probably not focusing enough, but just know that I'm doing teddy bear sunflowers. Next, I've got Starburst, Sunburst, DMR from Sunflower Selections. This right here is going to be the best price you can find on sunflowers without going to a wholesaler. We're going to do the Pro Cut Gold Light DMR sunflower from Sunflower Selections next. I don't have many of these left, but I'm going to do as many of the Black Beauties as I can. I had 4 of those seeds, so I'm just going to do the Sunflower Steve seeds to finish out that row, which would be 2 more. Now we're going to see my second tray, and I don't know if I said this earlier, but I did pre-moisten all the soil before I started planting, and I'm going through and I'm just laying the seeds on top, and then once I get them all laid in, I go back and I push them in the soil and cover them, so that way I can tell what cells I've planted already and which ones I haven't. Alright, let's get to the next one. Let's do Velvet Queen. The next one I'm going to do is called Moonshine. This one is called Firecatcher Sunflower, and it looks like I've only got 5 seeds. So I'll just plant up the extra one with whatever variety I choose next. The next one we're going to do is called Miss Mars. And I have one extra cell in that last row I just did. So like I said, I'm going to just put the extra one as this Miss Mars. The next one we're going to do is called Luxor Golden. And I got those from wholesale from the Small Scale Grower. Next we are doing Evening Sun Mix. The next row is going to be a Pro Cut Red, and I also got these from wholesale from the Small Scale Grower. The next sunflower we're going to do is this Tiger's Eye mix. These came from Lowe's. The next one we're going to do is Orange Mahogany Bicolor, and these just came from Walmart. The next one is Italian White, and those are just Walmart as well. Next we're going to do Orange Gold Sunflower. The next we're going to do is this Summertime Mix, and it's also from Walmart. So there they are, 144 sunflowers seeded. I'm going to keep the trays by my dog yard so any little critters that might be tempted to eat them will be scared away more easily. And as warm as it's been, these should honestly germinate in no time as long as I can keep them watered, which those two trays do hold a little bit of water. So I'll just have to keep an eye on them. Honestly, it's just been too hot to do anything during the day, and I was up and the urge hit me that I don't have to wait until it's the middle of the day or when it's starting to get muggy to see these sunflowers. I can do it in the middle of the night and it'll be so much cooler, so much less hot. But I can't keep putting things off just because it's hot. So I'm going to attempt to go work on the strawberry bed that those alpine strawberries need to go in. I think that part of the yard is maybe a little bit more shaded right now than it was earlier today. So I'm going to take my little hand trimmer thingies and go down there and just kind of get it prepped. So later this evening when it does cool down, I can go ahead and get those strawberries moved. One thing I didn't show is last night whenever I was out here at 3:30 in the morning planting sunflowers, I also poked a few bean seeds in the ground. That's a Red Ripper. I only had 2 of those seeds. Right here is just a Kentucky Wonder pole bean. I did a short little row there. On this side I did the blue speckled tepary bean in that little, kind of in this little area. I gave them all a good water last night. But seeing as how hot it is, I'm going to... Oh, better let this run off. It's hot when it first comes out. Even though I gave them a good soaking last night, I'm going to go ahead and water them again now. And maybe even a little later. Oh yeah, that's still really hot. Glad I didn't... I almost just pointed it there. You saw me. Something that's really easy to forget. Check your water hose temperature before you just start spraying it if it's been laying in the sun all day. It's still coming out pretty hot. Alright, that's cooling now. We have been in a heat wave. And I just want you to look how well my tomatoes are doing. They're not dry, they're not dropping or droopy. And it's all because I mulch everything. Like, I haven't watered these since I planted them. I mean, I just gave the beans water, so they've gotten a little bit from that. But this bed I overall haven't watered since I planted these. And the thing that's keeping them happy is literally that I just mulched them whenever I put them in. We're going in this bottom garden, and as you can see, it's shaded back there this time of day. And even though it's shaded, it's not the same kind of shade as if you were in the middle of the wood. It's still bright shade. But also, this still gets full sun all day because it does get more than 6 hours. It's just that this part of the area is sun at a different time than, say, different parts of my gardens and yard. But even though it's shaded now, they still get more than 6 hours of sun, so it's still considered full sun. And it is the morning sun that it gets. Look at this. Can you see this? Let me stand by it. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know what angle to get it at, but this is coming up to my nose, so it's well over 5 foot tall now. This is a sun gold, and it is starting to set fruit. This is the bed I was talking about. It has some alpine strawberries planted here, and down here there is a couple of strawberries I planted from seed. But there's a board back here. We put this deer fencing up after the bed was in. So there's about, I don't know, I want to say somewhere between 12 and 8 inches of space back there. So what I want to do is take these boards up and use my little hand trimmers and trim all those weeds down. And then we'll cover it with cardboard and paper, or whatever we happen to have that's brown, and compost. And we'll put the rest of those strawberries down here with these ones. I am getting eaten alive by flies and mosquitoes and all kinds of stuff. And it's just too hot. I'm going to have to go in and take a break and wait for a little while longer. But at least I did get something accomplished because I've been being lazy because of this heat. I got about half of the area done that I wanted to get done. So I'm going to get the bulk of the weeds out, and then we'll go back through and hand weed them and be more particular, so that way we don't pull out any little baby strawberry plants, because I do have a few that I planted from seed that have put on a decent amount of growth, but they're still not very big yet down there on that end. So we don't want to accidentally rip those up. We don't want to rip up these bushy ones either. So once we get the bulk of these weeds in the back down, we'll go through and do some more detail-oriented work, I would assume. It's actually started to rain, but I want to come on here and say this real quick. In a previous part of this video, you saw me down in my bottom gardens working on a place to put my strawberries. And I'm not going to lie, it's been a couple of days, and I haven't been able to get out here to finish that bed because it's been so hot. I have decided, since those strawberries aren't looking great, I mean, they were looking really good at first, you know, they were absorbing some of that water, but it's been a few days. And since they aren't looking great, I'm just going to plant them in my asparagus bed, because I've read that they make good companion plants. And the asparagus bed has recently been weeded, and it's ready to go. All I got to do is go put them in there. I don't have to build the bed still. And the one on the bottom, where you saw me stop on the video, is the progress I've made. It's still in that same state. It's still just partially built. I am going to finish that bed up whenever the weather breaks and it's not so hot, because I will still put extra strawberries down there. But for now, I'm just putting the ones that I have in my asparagus bed. Okay, there's my asparagus, and I've got all this space freed up. I'm just going to stick them in here
I'm not going to be able to really get any video of it because this rain's coming down harder. But I will come back and show you where I planted them. But just see how they're starting to look real bad. I'll come back and show you where I planted them once I'm done. And if the rain dies, I will get my camera back out. But for now, I'm just going to get these planted. They are in the ground. They're mostly back there. See where those pink flowered ones are? Those are strawberries. And they come all the way towards the front. And then I got a couple over there. Now next year, to give me access to these strawberries, next year I won't plant this whole area up with onions and leeks. I will leave a pathway. Yes, we didn't get it finished weeded. We started and didn't get it finished. But anyways, to give me access to this side of the bed, I'll just leave a row out of planting next year to where I can at least get to that. I also have a handful of those strawberries that I put here, and I'm going to pot them up to give to people. But before I do, I want them to have some recovery time. So I'm just going to go ahead and pot them up and let them sit. And then when they start to look pretty and not so stressed again, I will give them away. Whenever you plant strawberries, just be sure not to bury that crown in the middle. It needs to stay above the soil. I finally have those strawberries taken care of, and with that being done, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you later. Bye.